Hello again. So, recently I answered some questions regarding how I run, what my training is like, and so forth. Today I figured I'd answer questions specifically surrounding my special Project 13 by 62, what it's all about, how I plan it, what are the logistics like, and how has it been. So, I guess without further ado, here we go. Well, wait. First, I'm Mikey Tarts, and I'm attempting to run a half marathon in each county within the state of New York. Join me as I go for 13 miles, 62 times. Anything I mention about how I train or how I go about getting through all these counties is purely anecdotal. I am neither a professional trainer nor a certified nutritionist, so take anything I mention with a grain of salt. Please consult a professional before making any changes to your training or diet plan. Thank you very much. Once again, away we go. What is Project 13 by 62? Project 13 by 62 is my mission to run a half marathon, approximately 13.1 miles or more, in each of New York State's 62 counties. The goal is to raise at least $1 per mile I run to benefit the Children's Heart Foundation, or CHF for short. What inspired you to run a half marathon in every county in New York? My running teammate had recommended to me a book called Running the World by English endurance runner Nick Butter. In it, he details his journey in running a full marathon in each of 196 countries and territories throughout the globe in under 2 years. I have neither the finance, the training, nor endurance, nor time off from work to make that happen. Yet I felt an amazing opportunity is able to be found in running all throughout a state that I lived in all my life but had yet to explore. It seems a feasible thing to do. How are you structuring this challenge? Are they official races or self-organized runs? The majority of runs that I'm doing are show up and get it done style. While 2 of the races have been official, every other one is falling within the constraints of when I have off from work so I can travel to those locations and get those runs done. Do you run alone or have people joined you for certain counties? Except for the 2 official races that I've done in Jefferson and Richmond counties, I've run solo. And that's not been by design. Trying to collaborate with friends and other runners to get that to occur hasn't really worked out, though. I do hope that changes. What do you hope to gain or learn from running in every county? New York is a huge state. Its nickname, the Empire State, is owing to its wealth of resources. It is still quite difficult to say what exactly a New Yorker is or what New York is like when you've lived your entire life essentially within 2 counties. I hope to get a better understanding about what this state is all about, in addition to raising funds for a charity I have desire to support. How do you choose your routes in each county? My research leverages trying to find trails, rail trails, clubs, paths, things like that within every county. My primary focus is finding a safe place to run that does not involve running on or alongside highways. Sometimes I leverage using the athlete's social media app Strava so I can see that it's safe. And sometimes that doesn't work out. Do you map out your courses in advance or decide the run on the spot? Most runs are mapped out in advance. In the case of Columbia County's run, my desire to run on the Empire State Trail wasn't coming to fruition because of the highway run that it would involve, and the Harlem Valley Rail Trail run, the rail trail I intended on using, was closed even though the website didn't report it as such. So with poor cellular signal, I had to find a place to park the car and create a route in order to get the half marathon done. I will add that my original desire for Cortland County was to run in the city of Cortland. When I looked at the map and I found that there was a town called Marathon, 2 days beforehand I invented a route that involved doing clockwise loops along the streets.
So, half marathon in half of marathon. Or something.
I could not pass up that opportunity. Sometimes it's improvised, other times it's planned. You just have to find a way to make it happen. By the way, I also have a massive spreadsheet of all the counties that I'm trying to keep organized, where I'm supposed to be going, and a journal of what it was like once I completed it. So I'm a bit nuts with the spreadsheets. Sorry, not sorry. How do you decide what to run, where, and when? In the beginning of the project, if I had a day off, I would drive up to 2 or 3 hours from where I live to a county, do a run, and come back. Now, these counties are getting to be about 4 or more hours away from where I live. I'm trying to plan out completing these counties in blocks. You may have seen this if you go back to the videos and look at the timestamps where some of them are completed within 3 or 4 days of each other. That seems to be the only way that I can get it done right now. Do you prefer self-organized runs over official races? Why or why not? Official races bring with them a certain security of knowing that there's going to be a safe place to run, that you're going to have support physically with the presence of water and spiritually with people cheering you on to get it done. Yet, it means that you have to be at a specific place and a specific time, and all of those resources come at the cost of an entry fee. However, self-organized runs have the benefit of you doing them whenever you want, almost wherever you want, yet you have to account for your own nutrition and hydration along the way and pay attention to surrounding traffic to create your own safety net. Between the two of them, the self-organized runs are going to be a better way to go, as time is a resource that is the most valuable here. How did you get from a 1 hour 50-minute race in 2017 to 1 hour 45 minutes or faster? Loaded question, but it has come up. The reason why I feel I can do these half marathons so casually is that I did train for half marathons, then I trained for marathons, then I started a run streak where I'm completing at least a mile of running a day without fail, then morphed into having a minimum of 30 to 35 miles run in total every week. Building upon that endurance made some of these shorter runs a lot more mentally tolerable and physically, because otherwise I built up the endurance. The speed came because I was getting stronger. I believe that's the key. Again, that's my personal experience. How do you track and verify that you've completed a half marathon in each county? The third rule of the project is the accountability rule. I need to record a GPS to prove that I had completed the run in a given county. To give an example of this, when I ran around the City Field compound in Queens County,
For one stride, putting me in Spain, and then immediately back in Queens, it crashed the file. So it recorded the distance, but it could not report the path.
now I know that I ran 13.1 based upon how many laps I did on video, how long it was, and how many loops were needed. Because the GPS only showed 10 miles worth of runs, I had to rerun it in order to verify that I had actually completed a half marathon within that county. From that point on, I've been wearing 2 GPS watches at the same time to assure that if one failed, I have another one that proves that I've run the distance in that county, so I don't have to rerun it. How do you handle hydration and fuel when there aren't official aid stations? I've carried either my 14-ounce water bottle or 20-ounce water bottle. It's been difficult, especially when running through Oneida County.
20 ounces was just barely enough, and that's with rationing. It was humid and hot.
In terms of fuel, in the very beginning, I brought with me my gels, though I keep snacks in my car for after the run is done. How many counties have you completed so far, and what's your goal timeline? Since April 2024 up until early February 2025, I have completed 36 of New York's 62 counties. My goal timeline is to get them completed within 2 calendar years. However, I have had opportunities to run a few major marathons, opportunities that I could not pass up. It just means that part of the project is going to take longer to complete than I had originally intended. Have you ever gotten lost or had to change your route mid-run? Yes. In Sullivan County, my original goal was to run on the Hurleyville Rail Trail. The course as I was running it seemed to stop after 4 miles. I tried to invent running along New York Route 42 onto Brickman Road, and there was a point on that intersection where I'm thinking,
Still kind of don't know where I am other than being in Sullivan County. But apparently I got a huge hill to go up.
and I reinvented my way back to where I had parked Gunther. Very interesting. Have you seen any wildlife or cool landmarks on your routes? I ran alongside deer in Monroe County, Thor the dog in Delaware County. In Otsego County, I ran past the Baseball Hall of Fame, which is also a big hit. I also had the opportunity to run on Revolutionary War battlefield grounds in Saratoga County,
The site of a decisive battle between the American colonists and the British.
ran the beaches of Fire Island in Suffolk County.
I am literally running on the beach right now.
It's been a beautiful, amazing journey, and I'm just barely past halfway. What's the most difficult county you've run so far? Difficulty is relative. Looking at the data alone, my 14 miles running around Cobleskill in the county of Schoharie was about 1,100 feet of elevation gain. Hottest that I've run was in Oneida County, where it was about 82 degrees Fahrenheit, which was 26 centigrade. The coldest I've done was in Fulton County, where it was just above the freezing point and threatening to snow. Those would be the extremes, and in that case, would probably be the difficult runs. I might put a footnote into Herkimer County because that was the third half marathon in 4 calendar days. That was hard for different reasons. Have you encountered any unexpected obstacles like closed roads or bad weather? Oh yeah. In Albany, when I ran on the Empire State Trail going north.
Mile and a half in and I'm starting to feel the first spits of rain. Whew. I mean, that's what I planned. I just didn't want to get shocked by lightning.
I encountered thunderstorms and lightning around mile 4. Not a safe thing to run in, especially when you're surrounded either by a lot of tall trees or running through a large open field. The forecast was off by about an hour, and I was caught almost in the middle of nowhere, trying not to be struck by the boom boom from the sky. Do you have a favorite hidden gem that you discovered while running? After the Warren County run, where I started in Lake George and head southeast a little bit, I decided to record my recap up on Prospect Mountain.
So yeah, I decided after running 13.1 plus miles 2 days in a row that let's summit a mountain.
This was a beautiful view that was completely worth the $10 of admission. If there was anything else as a hidden gem, I was not expecting to find something like the Sackett's Harbor Half Marathon in Jefferson County, let alone the breadth of things that there are to do before and after the race in that region. It has a special place in my heart for that. I'll leave it there. They're not paying me to say that, by the way. What's the most beautiful or surprising place you've run so far? Otsego County's Otsego Lake is the most beautiful shade of a near turquoise blue that I had ever seen.
Now, how's this for an ending spot?
I also want to give a shout out to the farmlands and open space of Washington County going over the Champlain Canal.
You take a sweeping panorama.
That was also a much beautiful, wonderful place to run. Highly recommend if you're in those parts. Have you ever had any interesting or funny interactions with locals? I remember checking in to the hotel in Fulton County on New Year's Eve nonetheless. They asked me if I knew somebody in the area. I honestly said no, I'm just here to get some runs done, and telling them that my goal is to get as far away from New York City as I can from the loudness and the festivities. We had some good conversation from there. I also remember completing Richmond County. The announcer after the race caught my Project 13x62 hoodie that I was wearing at the time. When I was in the expo for the New York City Marathon, they made note about those runs. Nothing too outlandish. Almost forgot to add, but really need to. Many locals have coached me and guided me for safe places in which to run, including but not limited to Ian Golden from Finger Lakes Running Company in Ithaca, Tompkins County, and some wonderfully talkative strangers that I have met after running in Ulster County. So thank you very much for all your support. I hope to see y'all out there, and I'm just naming a few, so hi. Will you celebrate in a special way when you complete all 62? I don't know how, yet there is one county I'm trying to save to last that is of personal significance, and I'll know it when it happens or what I'm going to do when it happens. What advice would you give to somebody who wants to do something similar? Plan it all out, and then get ready to throw parts of that plan out the window. And if need be, go outside where you threw it out the window, grab those plans and bring them back inside, probably make some edits. And then throw that out the window too. There's a bit of ambiguity that you need to be ready for. Planning does help in terms of understanding where you're going to be going, how you're going to tackle the project, and what resources you're going to need. Sometimes you can't plan it out so precisely, you have to just let go. When I was in Shenango County around Norwich or Lowville up in Lewis County, I just decided where I was going to run and made up my route along the way. Let whatever the inspiration is of the area hit you. What's been the most rewarding being part of this challenge so far. I've seen and experienced more of the state in the past 10 months of doing this project than I had experienced in the prior 4 decades of me living in this state. When I was growing up, I had certain restrictions on the activities that I was able to do. As I had grown older, these restrictions were lifted, and I really want these restrictions to be a thing of the past. Knowing that I've been born with a congenital heart defect and being able to even complete a project of this nature this far is a reward in its own right. That's part of the reason why I want to support the Children's Heart Foundation here. I feel that it is with the research into the detection, the treatment, the prevention of birth defects of the heart is really the way to go. Alrighty, so that is that. Thank you very much for watching. I'm hoping that this helps settle some questions about what's going on with Project 13 by 62. Thank you very much for your support. Now you can see links in the doobly-doo for many different races that I have taken part of in this project. Also a link to the website where you can track where I had been and where I plan to go. And I will see you very soon. Sooner than you think. Take care. I'm too afraid to move my hands because I'm pretty sure that my hair is going to be a mess.